Good morning. Today we're going to be talking about how we can do what's called a left outer join in SQL. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So basically what we're looking at, when we're doing a left outer join, it's like we're doing a regular equi join, the standard one we've been using all year long. We also want to get the results that don't have that match. Because when we're talking about left outer join, sometimes we need just the regular set of data, which is the normal join system. But we also need to know what happens when we don't have the match, because we have to be able to get that, and you can't get that from a join itself. You have to do something extra with that, and that's where the left outer join comes into play. So the one I'm going to give an example for with this is we want to find out how many different orders there are for all the different districts in our system. So I've been using the Manga Fruit database the entire year. We're going to continue on with that for the examples for this. We're going to make just a small change here and there to take a look at it though. But I want to find out what the order count is for all the districts, including districts with no orders. Because when I ask for an order, if there's not a match, it doesn't report anything because it just gives us the exact answer. That's what an equi join is designed to do. So it's perfect for that. So with our standard join, we start off with our select keyword, of course. Then we select the columns we want to look with. In this example, you have ex.district, comma, and then count asterisk as cells count. So I'm going to get all of the cells for this match. And so I'm going to do from exports ex, joining cells s on s.export subcode equals x.export subcode, semicolon. So we've got our standard regular join approach. This is an equi join because I'm using the quality symbol right here, standard approach we've been using on the primary key of this one, which is the foreign key on this one. And so we have that approach right here. So I have each district and their count, and that's going to give us all those matching with that setup. The only problem right here is this only gives us the exact match. So when we're doing a equi join, we get exactly that match and nothing extra. So it's great to get the exact match, but not enough, which is great. But sometimes we need more data. Yes, we need more. And so how are we going to do that? How can we access that extra data? So we have to look at how they structure a left outer join to make that happen. So let's go ahead and take a look at the code to make that happen and then talk about it as well. So as you can see, just by looking at the code, we have a lot more code we have to write to do a left outer join on top of that. And so the heart of this is when we're doing a left outer join, we have our standard join as the inner query, and then we join that with another join to get the external results and to handle them using the magic power of the case. So we're going to select again, as always, an x.district, same that we were working with, comma, and then we use the case operator or case, the case command, so we can say, hey, I want to look at this, and the case has an end as. We get a name on that because we don't want to give that whole giant thing as its value, because again, we want to give a good name for it. And so when the right table.cells count is null, then 0. So when I don't have an answer for that, I want to be able to use that, and so, because nulls don't count in there. And then else right table.cells count. And I'm going to join that from exports, and then I'll use the left outer join. I use the parens to indicate that I'm using a inner query, and I'm naming that inner query as an alias with RT for right table. Nice little quick shorthand. Inside there, here's that same equi join we were using earlier. So select x.district, comma, count as cells count from exports x, cells s on x.export count equals s.export count. X.export code equals s.export code. So we have that same exact query we saw in our regular standard one, but then I'm going to grab all of that, and I want to get all of these because that way when I don't have a match, that comes back up here to the case. So I do this inner query, get all of these results. Then when that comes back in, I join on exports x, and I can use that match because it's not an exact match. I need that extra data. And then I'm going to use on x.district equals rt.district. So I have to make sure that I have in my left-hand table right here, I have a matching right-hand table column. So these ones right here, these two districts need to do matching right there. So we have to have that value right there. And of course, I'm using order by to organize my information. So I can have, hey, my cells go from 0 down up. And so I can have that lovely value for all my cells. And so I can see which of my districts don't have matches on that. And so when we're doing the left outer join, we have our standard query inside as an inner query. Alias it. RT is a great alias because then it's a nice little clue that we're we're using a right table on that, so we're getting the interior results. And then I do the left outer join against the original value. So I can get that, and I use the case to evaluate that. The case is a key way because when I get something inside here that doesn't match, I use the case to replace a null with a more valid answer because we don't want to give back null almost ever. Null is a bad thing when we're talking database in Java land. It's also bad in Swift land. So we want to try to avoid giving that back to them. So that's how we're going to go from there.